early 90s of the last century, most of the war roads from the Mountain War 1518 in Trentino, Veneto and South Tyrol have been closed. That's why I now want to enjoy these roads with an e-mountain bike. From Masi Brenta and Agricoltura near Rovereto, I start my tours with Montefinanchio, which at 1600 meters takes a tour of 35 kilometers and 1300 meter elevation. After 1915, the front ran from the Adige Valley up to this summit and on to Serrada. From the descent, I leave the war roads and take the quick single route. A thunderstorm front is moving into the valley from the south. The next morning, the weather is wonderful again. I am planning to Rifugio Lancia Alpi Posse. I pedal leisurely up the provincial road to Passo Borgola until it goes down to Geroli on the right. In one of the Altopiano's well over 300 cemeteries you can thoughtfully remember us to the dead heroes of the Spring Offensive of 1916. After almost 700 meters elevation, the war road now climbs up to Passo Lucco to Malga Bisorte, almost 1600 meters high. In a large loop, you reach Selle del Bosse at 1900 meters. Suddenly, the last few kilometers become very demanding with deep gravel and larger drops. But then I reach the Rifugio Lancia, where there is a first-class minestrone soup. Actually, you should spend the night here and visit the position of Colsanto, Monte Testo and Corno Battisti the next day. I enjoy the descent of almost 1600 meters to Rovereto, which is really fun on my bike. This tour today was 64 kilometers at 2300 meters elevation. The next tour starts from Serrada on the Altopiano. From there, the war road goes up the ski slope to the Dosso delle Somme Fortezza. At the beginning of the war, the fort was manned by 4 officers and 227 men. It receives 4,229 28 cm caliber shells and fires 26,103 shells itself. What a battle! Partly on single trails, it goes down to the Passo Coe, only to climb back up towards Monte Macho. This single trail becomes more and more technical demanding, so I switch to the official road up to Monte Macho. Deep gravel combined with large drops always present challenges, even for an e-mountain bike of this type. This mountain, together with Monte Maio behind it, also reminds us of the spring offensive of the German-Austrian army in 1916, which also bears the name Strafexpedition. The descent is technically just as difficult as the climb. From the Passo Coe, the road continues on the other side to the Sommo Alto Fortezza. This was occupied with a total of 1,400 28 cm calibers grenades. However, both the Somme and Sommo Alto barrier forts were never abandoned. From there, it goes back to Serrada via ski slopes. This tour was 30 kilometers and 1,200 meters elevation. The next day is a rainy day. I use it to once again visit the largest bell in the world, the Capanna dei Caduti, the Bell of the Fallen. It was made in 1924 from the bronze of the cannons of the countries that took part in the First World War. It is also worth visiting Beseno Castle on such a day. In the evening I drive to Monte Sugna to take a look at this battlefield. Here the spring offensive came to a standstill in trench warfare, and the result was a bitter battle until 1918 involving several 100,000 soldiers on both sides. The trenches in the direct front section were less than 50 meters apart. I have changed my position. I am in the Fanes group in Petry. The next tour is a classic and starts from here in the back of the Roll Valley. It is the crossing of the Limojoch. It starts right away with the first 500 meter elevation with an incline of approximately 22 to 25% to the Refugio Fanes and on the Limojoch. The tour continues with a technical demanding descent through the Fanes Valley towards Cortina d'Ampezzo into the Beutegorge and then straight back to the Malga Rastua along the Torrente Beute. If it is steep but turned up to the Malga, this changes suddenly. At an altitude of around 1800 to 2100 meter, there are deep gravel and ledges with a gradient of over 25%. Even pushing becomes an adventure here. Then reach the Seekovelhütte and enjoy this view while taking a break. The elevation gain has been achieved. The descent to Petry is still missing. The super steep descent with over 37% goes back to Petry via the Sennes Lodge. This was 45 km at 1800 meter elevation. To tackle the east of the Altopiani Sette Comuni, locations such as Cavallino Tre Porti are ideal, especially in autumn. You enjoy the sunrise and the sunsets by the sea, and in the morning you drive the 70 kilometers to the Monte Grappa Massif. The Monte Grappa only played a short episode in the mountain war of 1 year. After the 12th Isonzo battle in the autumn of 1917, the KUK and German troops managed to establish themselves in the north of the Monte Grappa. For a year there was a fierce and bloody fight for the summit. The attacks came over the mountains from the north and were forced by the KUK and German troops. The name Erwin Rommel appears. Thoughtfully, I went up the endless loops from Santa Maria del Covolo near Crespana del Grappa until this gravel path joins the road to the summit. This is one of various gravel roads that the Italians had built to bring material to the front and stop the breakthrough of the 12th Isonzo battle. Getting to know this large area extends back to the Valpore Lodge and via Monte Perticia back to Monte Grappa. The descent corresponds to the ascent to Santa Maria del Covolo. In the evening I'm back at the sea and enjoy the sunset in the warm October air. I have to go here more often. This massif has potential, high potential.